Welcome back to our Decision 2022 Bend mayoral debate. Once again, we're joined by the two candidates running for Bend Mayor, Melanie Kebler and Chris Piper. Let's get the second half kicked off with our next question. It's related to traffic, okay? Is the latest transportation bond going to be enough to handle the traffic we already have, let alone the growth we might have? Once again, Chris Piper, you begin.
Thank you, Lee. You know, it's a good question to pose because I feel at this current time, by 2040, our Bend population could grow at least 150,000, 53,000. And so is our current transportation bond that the voters passed sufficient enough to address that? I think it's going to be a constant work in progress. We have so much catch up to do, plus we work in a grid system where we have a river, we have a railroad, and we have unfinished roads that really go to nowhere. And we have areas of private land that we have to negotiate to actually punch through additional roads. So I feel at this time we have to really address and make sure that we're staying prioritized on the bond that the voters passed. They voted on a bond that they saw based on how things were going to be prioritized going forward with the infrastructure and development. We also have to make sure that we stay focused on our safe routes to school, that we do have protected bike lanes, that we do have roads that will handle those congestions, because I'll say it here, people will continue to drive. People will continue to use the roads. And so we have to make sure that they are safe. Also, as part of this growth, our population is diversified. We have disabled individuals that utilize those crosswalks, and we have to make sure that when we are upgrading those signals, that we have sound that is loud enough so that those that are hard of hearing, those that are blind, can be able to hear those signals when there's a lot of traffic going by. That is an area that we need to focus on, and I feel that the disabled are being underserved in that area. So yes, to your question, I do believe that we're going to have to look at alternative ways to figure out how we're going to keep up with the pace of growing population and demands on our infrastructure.
Melanie Kebler, is that transportation bond passed by voters, is that going to be enough?
So I think everyone in Bend can agree when we move around town that our transportation system has not kept up with our growth as a city. I know when I'm getting around town on my bike or in my car with my kiddo, I can see those places where there's a lack of connectivity or where it just doesn't feel safe. So the transportation bond is a good first step. It's identified in our transportation system plan as the first big investment to try to help catch us up, and includes plans to make a connected network for people who bike, to make sure we have connected, safe and accessible sidewalks, and to make those other connections across town or over the railroad that we've really been lacking and haven't been able to develop in past years. For me, one of my big priorities when talking about any transportation project is always going to be safety, and making sure that when people are getting around town, not only are they connected, but they're safe getting there. I'm excited and anticipate a really good conversation later this fall to talk about additional revenue streams that we may need to continue investing in our transportation system to make sure it works better for everybody. That's also part of our transportation system plan that we need to continue to implement as we grow.
30 more seconds, Chris.
Thank you, Lee. Yeah, I think one area that we need to really address in this growing need of additional infrastructure and to try and help minimize the congestion is we've actually covered quite a bit of it, but the area of mobility hubs. I think mobility hubs as part of the transportation bond is something that we actually need to spend some more time with so that we can ease the pressures on our infrastructure. I also agree with the fact that, you know, more walkable communities. When I was on council, we approved Petrosa. Petrosa is a walkable community, therefore minimizing the vehicle miles traveled.
Melanie?
Yeah, we're starting to see some of the improvements come online from the transportation bond and from some of the other work we've been doing as a council. Really proud we're going to have our first corridor that's an east-west connector on Wilson Avenue with protected bike lanes and a protected roundabout, which is the first for Bend. This is a good first step to start promoting that safety and connectivity that we've talked about. We're also seeing some of our mobility hubs being tried out as part of our bike share program and to help us figure out where those are going to go in the future as we implement our plans.
All right, very good. Now here's The follow-up question, closely related to that, but I'd like to hear how you would expand on this. Do you think Bend should spend more money on alternative transportation projects, Chris Piper?
Well, that question right now is debatable. I think we need to make sure that the infrastructure that we currently have with CET is viable and being supported in the best way possible. When I was on council, I actually added an extra $1 million in the transportation bond to help with the infrastructure and build out of our transportation, our public transportation. It is also, I think, an area that we need to look at possibly addressing transportation as a taxable district. We have other cities within the state that we have Lane Community Transit down in Eugene, which is a taxing district of its own. So I think those are things that are worth discussion. But we definitely need to make sure that when we are looking at alternative modes of transportation, that they're going to meet the needs of those that heavily depend on those. And right now, we have areas where we have bus stops that need shelters. We have connectivity of technology that needs to happen so that we know what the wait time is going to be and be accessible to those that can't wait out in the weather all the time. So we have to make sure that we are supporting the needs of those that are really reliable on the transportation and that expansion in public transportation and through other mobility hubs.
All right. Melanie Kebler, same question. Alternative transportation, more money?
So I believe that no matter how you get around town, you should be able to do so safely, and you should have a safe route that connects you all the way to your destination. Whether you are a person who has a disability or a senior that's going to a medical appointment, or whether you're a kid that wants to walk or bike to school. So I think continued investment in all parts of our transportation system, but especially the infrastructure that we've historically been lacking, like protection for people who bike, like connected sidewalks that all connect together and make a network where you can get from A to B without going through a no man's land of no sidewalks, will really help people feel safe and maybe choose to take a trip that's not in their car, which is good for the rest of us who are driving that day, that there's fewer cars on the road. We really need to have some careful planning in our transportation system and also keep working with our partners at COIC to support our transit system. They've been through a lot with the pandemic. They've had a lot of trouble getting drivers and getting routes going, but they have some really great plans, including a great route that's going to go into Southeast Bend. And they were really collaborative with us when we were looking at our new neighborhood in the Stevens Road tract. And we have a great concept plan for that neighborhood that not only provides more than 2,500 homes, including 20 acres of affordable housing, but has a plan already to be connected to our transit system and to our parks and trails system to give people those meaningful options to get around.
Very good. 30 more seconds, Chris Piper.
Thank you. I think it's important to address that we have these planned developments that will include stronger transportation to these areas because of how those planned communities have been designed to become a walkable community, to minimize the vehicles miles traveled, which is highly important, and that COIC has done a remarkable job of bringing in infrastructure where it is needed. However, they're still dependent on the STIF, which is a percentage of our paycheck, and also the city, which gives them $1 million to stay sustainable.
Okay. Melanie?
I'll just add that I was really pleased to meet with a representative from Salem who was visiting Bend the other day, and we had a really great conversation about what can happen at the state level to help continue investment in our transit system. And our council has also had thoughts of and been in discussions with COIC about a transit district and whether we are at the point that we need that here in our area to support our regional transit.
Okay, very good. Question 10 now. Some people have said the current city council is indecisive. What are your thoughts on that, and how would you change those perceptions, Chris Piper?
Well, I've heard the same thing, Lee, that council is indecisive. I feel that council has gotten away from the core fundamentals of city government. And those core fundamentals where council really needs to focus so that we can manage and mitigate this indecisiveness is stay in our wheelhouse. We have 4 core functions in city government. It's public safety, it's infrastructure, the water, sewer, utilities, and roads. Economic development. What are we doing to diversify our industry so we can actually have higher paying jobs and not be so dependent on tourism? And then we also have the area of housing. And those are the 4 core areas that our city government needs to focus on and get back on track with. Right now, this indecisiveness has actually created such a, I feel, a taxing burden on our current city staff, because there's been many things that have happened outside of their own understanding and why they were brought into the city to work on the areas that they were assigned to do. And now they've been working on other things where I feel, such as homelessness or houselessness, should have been carried over into the county area. But it's been taken on by the city government. Our county basically does focus on the stabilization center, drug addiction, and mental health. They focus on land where we can actually have housing for transitional purposes. We have areas where this council has been indecisive on how to use our city land. Our city land is there, which I feel should be utilized for workforce housing. We have opportunity where we can bring in officers and give them the opportunity to have housing and work and live in our community and in transition into the community, as well as our other first responders like firefighters and nurses and teachers.
All right, very good. Melanie Kebler, your answer to that. Is the council indecisive, and if so, and what can you do to change that?
So the leaders at our city level, on our city council, and our mayor should be able to make tough decisions that are well-informed, include public input, and have the best result for all of Bend. That's what we've been doing as a council. We've been an extremely productive council. We set goals in the beginning of our term, and we've moved towards achieving almost all of those. And we also knew what to prioritize. One of the priorities was addressing homelessness because leaders in the past had not made decisions about it. They had been indecisive. They had decided to do nothing. That's not what we did, and that's not what I did on council so far. We moved quickly, and within 6 months had an emergency shelter that was permanent and that was going to be open year-round to protect people from the elements and provide a place for people to get off the streets. When opportunities came up for us to invest state and federal dollars in more shelter and in other supports for our community, we took those opportunities. And we've moved through all of our work as quickly as we can. We've pushed our staff to do so, and we've been really pleased with the way that we've been able to achieve results for Bend, even in just the first 2 years of our term.
All right. Chris Piper, 30 more seconds on the issue.
Yeah, I just need to be clear that why I served on council in 2019 through 2020, a 2-year term, we were able to put in place the current low barrier shelter on 2nd Street, which was Opportunity Knox, which is nearby Mart. That shelter opened up and it provided the necessary need to bring people off the streets in unseasonable weather. So I was really proud that we were able to bring that online.
All right, very good.
You're welcome.
Melanie, 30 more seconds.
Before I was on council, every year our leaders had to scramble to find a place to get people out of the cold. That is no longer the case. We put in place the permanent emergency shelter that is open year-round, that keeps people out of the elements and helps them get off the streets. That was a priority, and we got it done within the first 6 months.
All right, very good. Next question. And we've been reporting here at News Channel 21 recently about the prospect of Bend using hydroelectric power as a part of the city utilities. Do you think that would be a wise investment, Chris Piper?
I think hydroelectric power at this stage right now is something that still needs to be under review. We need to look at other cities that are currently using hydroelectric power so that we can make the informed decisions that our taxpayers expect us to do. Right now, I think it's a decision that we can't make at this time. I think environmentally there are some impacts there that could be harmful, and we just need to make sure that we understand what that entails. Does that entail expanding our city hall and resources and staff? To what expense? Is it something currently that we need to do now, or is it something that we actually need to do more research and go to other model cities and pull that information back and be able to bring that forth to our community and get public input from them? We need to make sure that any decisions that the council decides to make brings the community into that decision, make sure our community has a seat at the table, and provides that information. And again, I go back to the 13 neighborhood associations. The 13 neighborhood associations model was designed for specifically the question that you're asking me today, is that if we're looking at making changes within city government and it's going to cost the taxpayers money, one, where is the funding going to come from? How is it going to be sustainable? And what is the feedback from those neighborhood associations? What can they bring into this decision? Because we have an incredible amount of experts outside of City Hall that we need to bring into the table so that we have a very balanced approach to how we move forward with hydroelectric power.
All right, very good. Melanie, same question?
So I'm really proud of our water system and our water source here in Bend and how we as a city have taken care of it. We have award-winning water in Bend. I want it to stay that way. And we've also had a really great success in our conservation efforts as a city. And actually, as our population has grown, we recently received information that our water use is a little bit down. So we're doing a really great job as a city. We can continue to do more. As we know, we're in an area of drought, and water is a big concern for a lot of people in Bend. When it comes to hydropower or any kind of new solution or policy, I look forward to having our staff present to us and tell us about the study that they're going to be doing on it. We've given feedback that, of course, that study needs to talk about feasibility from a financial standpoint and a logistical standpoint, but also from an environmental standpoint. We don't want to do anything to harm our water source here in Bend because it's so amazing and we want to protect it. So I look forward to hearing from our staff and then deciding on what we want to do next and deciding on the plan to how to take that to the community and have them weigh in as well.
All right. Chris Piper, 30 more seconds on that?
I have no rebuttal on that.
Okay. Melanie, you want 30 more on that?
That's good.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to question number 12 now. And this is certainly something that's been discussed before. We've reported on it ad nauseum over the years. Should we elect city councilors by zone? Chris Piper.
Lee, I'm glad you brought this question up. This has really been a fascinating topic to discuss with many of the community members that I have met with since campaigning back in January. I will say that there are situations where, in talking with business owners, they're tired of actually having to send an email that says council all and waiting to just wait to see if they even get a reaction. And I know I've been on the other end of those, right? And you want to be able to be responsive. I know Councilor Kebler wants to be responsive as best as she possibly can. I wanted to be as responsive as I possibly could. But the benefit, I feel, of having councilors in wards is an important issue that we need to discuss. I am in favor of it. We are at a population where our city has grown, and to have councilors at large right now, it's very difficult. We have individuals that don't know who our councilors are. Our councilors need to know who our constituents are. Our councilors need to know who the constituents are that they serve and what they're feeling. Because as public servants, we need to be in the public. We need to be engaged. We need to be listening. And we need to be following up on those comments that they're bringing back to us. A business owner shared with me, Chris, again, I sent an email out and I don't know who's going to get it. I get random counselors that email me and I have to reinvent my story all over again. It would benefit me and benefit others if we had a counselor that we could actually be dependent on and that could be our advocate for us. It would streamline. Plus, I think we would have a better opportunity of getting more candidates to run for council.
All right. Melanie Kebler, do you think there should be zone candidates for council?
So I'm really proud right now as a councilor to represent all of Bend, and I would be proud to do so as mayor as well. Someone who grew up in the southeast part of Bend as a kid and lives in that area now, I'm really proud that I can represent sort of that experience as I make decisions on council. And I'm also really excited that our council right now is more diverse as far as where people live in town than I think maybe it has been in the past. The city went through some charter review before where wards were considered and were recommended by that committee of citizens not to be adopted in Bend. And there's various reasons for that. One of the biggest worries I have about using a ward system is that it creates little areas where someone feels they are more beholden to their neighborhood than to the city as a whole. For councilors sitting and making decisions for the city as a whole, I think it's really important that we be accountable to everybody in Bend and not just one single neighborhood. There are also studies out there that talk about ward systems actually being detrimental to building more housing. And since the housing crisis is the priority that many of my constituents have talked to me about and that want to see action on and that we've made a priority as council, and is the one way to continue to grow Bend without losing our community spirit and making sure that everyone can still afford to live here, is building more housing. I'm skeptical or hesitant to engage in solutions that may result in us not being able to do that.
All right. Chris, 30 seconds.
Yeah. I've always seen city council as a unified body that is there to represent the greater good of the community. But we are at a situation where we need to visit this question about councilors representing respective or specific zones or wards, as other cities call them. I feel that a councilor representing a ward can be more accountable to those individuals and be more responsive to the needs of those individuals and bring back a report from that area that could be information that we could learn or council could learn more about, and could be information and ideas that could be best served for the greater good of the community.
Melanie?
I'll just say that I've really enjoyed as a counselor attending my neighborhood meetings. I have 2 neighborhoods assigned to me, and I've frequently brought back information from those neighborhoods to the full council or helped them with specific problems that they have. And I think that system that we have right now is working really well and would like to see it continue.
Very good. How about we let you guys tell us now, instead of me asking questions, about what it is that you want to see in the city of Bend, why you want to be mayor, why you want my vote, why you want everyone's vote. And we'll give you a couple minutes each to do that. Chris Piper, you can get us started.
Is this our closing statement, or is this
Yes,
just...
it is.
Oh, okay. Well, great. Oh, Lee.
We've got some extra time, so take your time, go through your
No,
notes.
it's all great. Great. Matter of fact, we should have a Pints with Piper after this, and we will carry on. I just want to say it's been a real pleasure to actually sit alongside Councilor Kebler, not having the opportunity to do so. It's been very knowledgeable and learning as we go forward here. The mayor position is a very critical position. It is a position that works directly with the city manager and leads the council and sets the agenda and is the face of our city. Our mayor, in taking this position, needs to make sure that has the time and the dedication to being out in the community, serving our city at League of Cities, working with other cities in our region to be more collaborative. But Bend is a brand, and we need to carry Bend forward, and we need to be the leader of Central Oregon region. With my business and leadership and civic, collaborative, and volunteer experience, I will enhance our city's future, and is why I believe I'm the right choice for mayor. We'll work tirelessly to focus on public safety, supporting responsive police, fire, public works that ensure our safety and quality life goals. We'll enforce our laws fairly and consistently throughout the community, including the houseless. Under my leadership, we'll bridge our community and focus on the core services the city is meant to provide. If you want creative and smart economic development that protects and will advance Bend's quality of life, if you want a more economically just and accessible, affordable, and safe community, If you want openness in government and more pints with Piper, then please join Team Piper. It's time to create a Bend that will last long after us to ensure that future generations will live in Bend even better than the one we enjoy today. Let's take the pledge to listen, lead, and be accountable. It's what we should do, and together it's what we can do. Vote for me on November 8th. PiperForBend.com has more information. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, you stretched it a little more than 2 minutes, so we'll do the same for Melanie.
Sure. Yeah. So thank you, everyone, for watching. It's been really a pleasure to share with you tonight my vision for the future of our city. As someone who grew up here and returned to raise my daughter here, I love Bend, and I want to make sure that we're preserving our community spirit as we grow and create a sustainable future for our city. Right now is a really important moment for Bend. With this election, you have a couple of choices. Should we go the direction of sprawling, growing out into our environment, and sort of preserving some of the status quo that we've experienced in the past 5-10 years? Or should we take bold action to protect our environment, to create a transportation system that works for everyone, and to get the housing we need so that people who are vital to our community, nurses, teachers, the people that work in our industries here in Bend, can afford to live here and aren't being pushed out? We need a thoughtful and smart plan for our future growth, and we need real conversations and decisive action. As mayor, that's what I'll provide. I'm not afraid to get out into the community and to show up. And I'm not afraid to speak to the issues that matter to people in Bend and affect your lives every day. Look, this is my family's home. I moved back here because I knew this was a great place for my daughter to grow up. But what I really want to make sure happens is that my daughter or your kids, when they grow up and they want to live here, they have the actual choice to do that, and that we've created that future for them. I'm the right choice to lead Bend and make that happen, and to make sure that we continue to be a great place to live for my family and for your family too. I'd be honored to have your vote. You can learn more about me and the elected officials and respected organizations that have endorsed me at melaniekebler.com. Thank you.
And thank you both very much for coming in. Terrific job tonight, I must say. We threw a lot at you, and you handled it very well. So we, again, thank you, and that concludes tonight's mayoral debate. Now, we want to not only thank these candidates to help inform our voters. We've got more coming this fall. We'll post this debate, by the way, online, ktvz.com, so people can see that later tonight. The next debate will be with the 4 candidates running for Redmond's mayor. That comes your way next Wednesday, September 21st, 6:30 p.m. with Jay Patrick, Ben Schimmeler, Charles Baer, and Ed Fitch. We hope you'll join us for that one. And we're televising, by the way, the only Central Oregon debate among the 3 candidates for governor. You can watch Christine Drazen, Tina Kotek, and Betsy Johnson square off on September 27th. That's at 6 p.m., and it'll be right here on KTVZ. Of course, for the latest news and weather, be sure to watch us tonight on First at 10 on Fox. My thanks for you for watching. My thanks to our candidates for coming in tonight. We'll see you at 10 on Fox.